Hi everyone, Rich Allen here with the Real Insights Group, and today we're going to take a look at the lovely town of Holliston, Massachusetts, and let's see if that's a place that you would like to call home. We show hundreds and hundreds of homes per year to potential buyers, and we're going to try to answer some of the most commonly asked questions that we get. We cite some sources so you can do some additional research, and you can always reach out to us and we'll try to answer your questions as quickly as we can. So Holliston, by the numbers, has a total population of just over 15,000 people at the last census. It's had slow but steady population growth and a little faster than normal growth in the last year. So that means it's getting a little more popular. The whole town measures just under 20 square miles, and that has 71% of the land is considered undeveloped, so there's not currently houses on it. And that gives you a nice combination of rural feel with still a beautiful town that's a great place to live. Home ownership is very high. About 83% of the people who live in the homes own them. That's as compared to people that would be renters. Some towns are very busy with investors or transients and renters. Some are more home ownership oriented. Holliston is certainly more home ownership oriented. Let's talk a little bit about the great outdoors and what are things that you can do to relax, to unwind, to stay and get healthy. The Waseca Wildlife Sanctuary is just a gorgeous place to look at if you're into bird watching or just being at one with nature. Super nice. The Upper Charles Rail Trail, if you haven't heard of rail trails, there's a series of them across Massachusetts. This one goes from Milford to Holliston, and there are plans to connect it to other towns like Hopkinton and Sherborne. Currently, I believe it's just over 13 miles of trail, so it'll keep you busy for a while. And you can see there's also Winnickening Woods, a lovely place I've been to, and Hutton's Pond. So there's a lot of good places local that you can unwind, and there's others. This is just a sprinkling of the ones that are available. Something is, those of you who watch my videos know that's near and dear to my heart is eating and food. I consider myself a foodie or just someone who loves food, and I love finding new restaurants. So some of the ones you can see pictured here, if you want to get a great burger or anything that's kind of tavern food, Casey's is awesome. There's the Holliston Grill. You can see it looks like an old-fashioned luncheonette, a lot of fun. And then a really nice deli tucked away in the middle of downtown Holliston that I go to get these great Thanksgiving sandwiches and Italian sandwiches called the Superette. They have wonderful things to buy to take home. It's like a little mini supermarket, but also a deli. You can get your cold cuts there, or you can get the sandwiches made. I highly recommend it. Love these guys. Again, one of my favorite things to do is to find coffee shops and pastries along the way. I love the Coffee Haven. They're now tied with the Blue Moon Cafe in another town, and not too far away is the Muffin House. Those are popping up all over, very popular, and you can see the muffins are incredible. And if you like Italian pastries, cannolis, and such, Gaetano's Bakery is right downtown, not too far from the Superette that I mentioned. Here you can get a glance at Holliston on the map. You see it's between 495 and 95 is the big highways, and you can see the neighboring towns, Ashland and Hopkinton to the north, and etc. Other towns, Medway, Millis, Medfield, etc. to the south. In terms of commuting, it has a couple of commuter rails that you can get to fairly easily, one in both Framingham and also in the Franklin line you can pick up in Ashland. Those will take you to Boston and Worcester, respectively. You can get to Providence, Rhode Island, and a lot of people go to Natick and Framingham, whether it's for the malls, shopping, jobs. There's a lot of easy access and highways that you can get pretty much anywhere in a reasonable time. The school systems are very well known. According to Niche, it gets an A rating with a very low student-to-teacher ratio, which is something you always look for. Oftentimes we're asked, oh, is this a safe town? And according to Neighborhood Scout and SafeWise, it's very safe in that it ranks about the fourth safest in Mass, at least in one recent study. You should always do your own research and due diligence, but that's a pretty strong metric right there. In terms of crime, it's also considered very low, which goes hand in hand with the safety rating. So nice aspect there. How high is the walkability of Holliston compared to other towns? Well, we already talked about the trail network and some great places, but in terms of being close to town, if you're near there, you really have a chance to have a great experience in walking into town. Some major employers. The school system is the largest employer. Harvard Bioscience is in town. And of course, there's all the regional shops and retail. But most people probably work outside of Holliston, whether they travel to Framingham Natick or to the Westboro area, or they go into one of the major cities using the commuter rail. There's lots of opportunities. As far as demographics go, the population, you can see the mix. It's got a healthy mix between families, senior citizens, working professionals, a very high degree of high school graduates at 95%. More than half the people have gone on to college. And so it gives you some ideas to the type of people that are in the town. The median home value, which, as you may know, means half the homes are currently listed for higher than this, half are listed for lower, 750,000. It's a bit higher than the state average, and it's appreciated beautifully over the last 5 years. That's if you're a homeowner. If you had purchased a place for 750,000 5 years ago and earned that 6.8% appreciation, you would have about $250,000 worth of equity. Your home would be worth $1 million. It's always hard to picture how inflation works, but in this case, it's good to think of examples. So again, if you bought this home for $750,000 this year, in 5 years, it probably would be worth about $1 million if this last 5-year appreciation held. There's about 4,200 single-family homes that you can choose from. Here's a map that we use or a table that we use to compare other towns. And you can see that Holliston compares very favorably with other fine towns in the area. You can see the difference in median home prices, ownership, student to teacher ratio, et cetera, and how much undeveloped land there is. All these towns are fairly similar with minor differences, so you have to choose what's most important to you. So that's it. That's a high-level summary of Holliston. If you would like to see everything that's available on the market, we have a link in the description below, or you can use the one you see on the screen. It's our website, realinsyghts.com/Holliston. That's always kept up to date, always will give you everything on the market in an active status in the town of Holliston, Mass. today. Don't forget to take a look at our other in the series of living in Franklin, living in Millis. We're working our way through the state. We'll try to do most of the towns. If there's something you particularly want, don't hesitate to reach out to us and we'll try to accommodate you. Well, thanks again for listening. This has been Rich Allen from the Real Insights Group, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.